So Tony Hawk's Underground is framed like a success story. Pretty simple, but if you look deeper on what's actually going on, you realize this isn't a game about skateboarding and being the best. It's a game about losing yourself, or at least how to not lose yourself. At the start, everything is really simple. You're just in New Jersey, you're with some friends, you're skating around, you're showing off, and then Chad Muska comes to town. Chad Muska comes, and he's really impressed by what you do. So he sees your fucked up skateboard, and he's like, you know what? Here's a new deck, right? And that's why Chad Muska was my favorite skateboarder as a kid. And I don't know if he's actually a good person. I've done no research on Chad Muska, but he's going to heaven, I think, for this thing that happened in a video game that I experienced when I was a child. But ultimately, I mean, there's no pressure, there's no expectation here. It's just fun until Chad Muska tells you just start looking around for sponsors. He thinks that you've got what it takes. But when something starts like that, when any project starts like that, it's always got this pure, no strings attached feeling to it that really makes it the essence of whatever you are going for. But as things normally do, you get noticed, and you leave your hometown, you start to make new videos, impress new people, get new sponsors, but just ever so slowly, skateboarding stops being yours. It starts being an act. It starts being something that you're doing to get noticed and to have other people see. You're not just skating to hit that sick fucking line in Jersey, you're skating for sponsors, you're skating for money. You're not skating for yourself anymore. And that ultimately is where the shift happens. At the point that you're not skating for yourself, you're just kind of chasing the pro scene. And it doesn't feel like you're changing at first. It feels like you're just hitting new tricks and people are showing you how to do new things. And you encounter that really awful stereotype of an Asian man working at McDonald's. And he shows you how to do the no comply and the boneless. But in the narrative, it stops being, what's the most fun line to hit, and it starts being, what's going to get me noticed? So you start doing more outrageous shit. You start driving cars into a lake, specifically police cars. You get into whole police chases. You start spine transferring over gaps that would just kill a normal man. But ultimately, that part doesn't matter because it will get you noticed. But that's how you start losing yourself. In anything. In real life, that's how you start losing yourself. It's not like you wake up one day and you're a different person. It's slow shifts in a certain direction that ultimately land you on who you are now. As human beings, we are mosaics of everything we've ever heard, seen, witnessed, everyone we've ever been friends with, everyone we've ever loved, and that's why I'm really stupid. But none of it really feels wrong on its own. But you stack enough of those decisions together, and you get Hawaii. So once you hit Hawaii in the story, you do this, first of all, impossible trick, at least impossible without breaking your whole leg to pelvis to chest area, where you do the Mick twist off of a fucking hotel. That's insane. As a kid, thought it was the coolest shit ever. That will kill you. Do not try that at home. But your buddy Eric records you doing it so that you can get a sponsor. Or so we think. Now, let's talk about Eric Sparrow. Now, have you ever had that one person in your life that really wants to achieve the same goal as you, and you guys kind of start together, and over time, you realize that they are just a little more willing to throw other people in the direction of the bus in the process? I have. I've had a lot of friends and I've lost a lot of friends. Because ultimately, at some point, the bus is coming. And oftentimes, someone's going to try and throw you under. And that's life. It shouldn't be. It's not necessarily fair. But that's life. Eric Sparrow is the personification of that. Because up until Hawaii, he really is your best friend, and he is trying to help you both get to the top. But when he sees you hit that Mick twist off of the fucking hotel, he does the unthinkable. He steals your fucking footage after you have just defied death somehow, you have somehow not broken every bone in your body, and you go to Vancouver to compete in the Van Slam Jam, whatever the fuck that is called. They premiere your video. Except it's not your face on there. Eric Sparrow somehow had the best CG technology known to man, because when they premiered that video, it wasn't your face on that skater, it was Eric's. Eric Sparrow had AI deepfake technology long before any of us did. As a kid, that actually like pissed me off, because I was like, that's not possible. That'll never be possible. Like, we had, CGI shit, but it was all like The Mummy, right? There were the real impressive shots like the Terminator, but I was always like, there's no way people would fall for this. And now it's 2026. So fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me. But ultimately for Eric, it's not about skating anymore. It's about being the guy. He doesn't just want to be one of the guys. He wants to be the guy. And once that becomes his focus, everything else kind of starts to fade with it. The skill doesn't matter as much. The effort doesn't matter as much. It's all about the result, the image. And ultimately, that's why he steals your fucking footage. It's not because he's better than you, and it's not because he loves skating more than you do, but it's because he wants the road that will lead you down. He wants that for himself, and he is willing to throw you under the bus for it. But I think that's where the main point of the game really comes in, because there's a huge difference in succeeding and feeling it while you're doing it. Sure, Eric Sparrow's on the top of the fucking world, but he didn't do any of the stuff that got him famous. Sure, he got up to where you were, but the point that it was time to go pro, he had to lie to get there. You did it naturally. You competed in that Van Slam Jam Ram Ranch, whatever the fuck, and you won. He didn't. And the difference is, the ultimate difference, and the reason why I love this game so much, is because when you win, you did not lose where you started. You still, through it all, skate. It's not just for the cameras, it's not just for the sponsors, but it's because it still means something to you. And that's what ultimately pulls you back after that huge blow of having your footage stolen, is because it's not some big dramatic realization. I mean, you go to Moscow with Eric, and there's even a second where he apologizes, and then he fucks you over by putting you in a tank and having it run into a building, and then a rock falls and like seals the top of it, and you end up in like a Russian prison, and you're freed by the embassy, but you have to find your way home. You've been kicked off the team. But it's ultimately a conversation once you get back to Jersey with none other than Stacy Peralta, where you say, I want to show the kids why we love skating, that this game really hits its best shot. Because for all that it's worth, this is a game about the love of skating. And sure, there's a huge through the fire and flames element at the end with Mr. Sparrow, where you have to do this huge line in New Jersey, but it looks like hell and it's on fire. For some reason, it scared the shit out of me as a kid. But by the time that you do that, the only thing on the line, it's not to get famous. You're already back to being famous by that point. It's because Eric taunts you with the tape that he doctored. It's the original tape. It's not for glory. It's for the sake of knowing the truth. And it's for the sake of doing it to do it. Ultimately, you can let that ride. You're already famous. But it's one last fight between you and the person who would rather throw you under the bus than ride to the top with you. Not once in the game does the player character ever make any move to sabotage Eric. As a matter of fact, the player character is very supportive of Eric coming up the ranks with him. Eric just feels like there can only be one. And that's not the case. But this game ultimately shows how easy it is when success is involved and people are watching to switch up on your day ones, especially when there's something that's in it for you. Now, Tony Hawk's Underground is not a game about why ambition is bad or anything to that front. It's a game about being yourself. It's a game that knows that you can chase what you want to the end of the earth, but the only thing that matters when you get there is that you are still you. Because once you're not you, everything else feels hollow, especially if you make it. So yeah, you become a pro skater, you get the recognition you deserve, but the real win of Tony Hawk's Underground, and this is a win that you should take into your real life, is that you didn't lose yourself on the way there. Because that's harder than it sounds. Thanks for watching.